In this video, we're going to talk about LinkSpring's history email service. The LinkSpring history email service enhances Niagara's existing history service by allowing your station to send those histories by way of email to recipients on a schedule of your choice. To demonstrate this, we've started with a brand new blank station here. Haven't done anything in particular to this, just created a brand new one. I want to show you how to do it from scratch. So to start with here, we better have some histories that we can email. So let's first make a new folder. We'll call it sample. And in that folder, let's create a new numeric writable point to represent the temperature. Okay? And you can see that point right there. All right. In order for it to act like a temperature ramping up and down, let's use I'm on kit control here, so let's use a ramp object. And we'll just take that output and plug it into the temp. So now my temp looks like it's rolling up and down and creating a history. Okay. So that by itself is really just the temperature, but it doesn't have any histories set up for it yet. So what we do is go to Niagara's history. This is not LinkSpring's yet. This is just the standard Niagara histories. And we'll go to our history extensions. Let's get a numeric change of value. So every time the value changes, we want to add that to the history. So we'll add that to the temp point, and now we have a history. And these are just standard Niagara histories. You've probably set them up before. Let's do enable it though, so that it can actually start creating histories here. Okay, so nothing too exciting about that. That's just the standard Niagara history stuff. Works great. You can come in and do everything you can always do with a history. But LinkSpring's history email service simply picks up these histories and will email them to a recipient of your choice on a schedule of your choice. It's very easy to use. To start with, let's go in and get our history email service, our history email palette, and we'll take a look. There's a few different things. I want to start with the history email targeted extension. The targeted extension is designed to work with an individual point, in this case temp, and to email its histories on that schedule to a person. Okay, so in this case, we've got our history here, our numeric change of value history. So we'll just add the history email targeted extension to that. And down here at the bottom, you can see that it was added. Let's open it up and see what its choices are. Well, the history email targeted extension is set to run at a certain time. It's configurable. You can do it daily, manually. You can do it on a given interval. We're going to say that we're going to do ours on every day of the week. Okay. Last time it triggered it didn't, because it's brand new. Next time it's scheduled to trigger is on this schedule, so tomorrow at this date. It is enabled, and the rest of it just looks like an email with the exception of one thing. The email account, you notice that I don't have any email accounts here. Well, Tritium and Niagara allow you to add an email service to your station so that it can handle emails. So let's do that. So we'll go to our email service. This is Niagara's standard email service, and we'll drag that up and add it to services. The email service allows you to have multiple email accounts, but when it starts, it doesn't have any. So this is the outgoing account that the system is going to use to send you the emails from the LinkSpring history service. So how many outgoing accounts we're going to add in this case? Just one. Outgoing account, we can leave it being called that. The host name, you should probably talk to your IT department and figure out what the host name for your system is. We'll just say myhost.mycompany, whatever. Could be something in Hotmail or Gmail or something inside your system. Talk to the IT people. Whether or not it uses authentication, we're going to say ours requires authentication. And then we're going to use the account, my account, at mycompany.com with a password, and you're all set. So nothing hard about setting this up. You've probably set these things up before in Outlook or some other email system, very similar to that. All right, so tell it OK. Now we have an email account called outgoing account. So now when we go back to our temp and look at the history email targeted extension, we can then go ahead and continue to fill out our email address here. So who is this email going to go to? Let's say it's going to go to you guys at yourcompany.com. And a carbon copy, blind carbon copy. Sometimes when we do this, we like to add ourselves to a blind carbon copy just to make sure they're coming in. And then, of course, we'll turn that off later on if we don't want to get a whole bunch of them. All right, so email account is the one we created. Hit the drop down here. There's our outgoing account we created. And the rest, again, is just like creating an email. Genesis History Report is the title. Let's say temp, point, history. The body of the text, if you care to. Sometimes people put specific words and phrases in here that will allow some kind of computer program to pick this up, recognize it, pick it up, and then import it automatically without any intervention from the user. A couple of other options here. You can clear the history after it's sent, true or false. What this system does is it actually sends a CSV file to the recipient, and so you can tell it to keep none, in this case up to 2 of the previous CSV files that were created. And you can also put a prefix on the CSV file. In this case, we're going to use the point name as part of the file name so that in case you're sending more than one, the CSV file will be obvious for whom that is. Okay, so that's all it takes. I'm going to save that to set this up, and so now we know that on the next day at 2:00 a.m. it will pick up this history and send it to this recipient. That by itself is enough to make the history email service by LinkSpring work, but suppose you want to do it to more than one point. In fact, imagine you have a bunch of points that you want to send all the histories, or you just want to pick up all the histories from the station regardless and send those all in one email. Well, to demonstrate this, let's create a new point. So we're going to say new, numeric writable, and let's make sure that it looks like it's gathering some data here, so we'll add the ramp to it as well. Now I could go to the, actually I have to go to the numeric writable. If we're going to send a history, I've got to create one, so let's create a history. And let's do an extension this time. Yeah, we'll stick with the numeric change of value. And again, this is all just Tritium stuff, right? So I could now go to the LinkSpring history email service and grab another history email targeted extension and drop it on there. Now if I do that, what's going to happen is that the temp one will send its history using this email address, the recipient, and its schedule to somebody, and then the numeric writable here will also create its own email and send its own CSV file, maybe to a different recipient. This may be a perfectly valid use case for the history email service by LinkSpring. It could be that you want to send, I don't know, temperature data to somebody and you want to send lighting control data to somebody else. So this is the way you would do that. But suppose you want to just pick up all of these histories and send them to one individual in one email. So the email might have multiple CSV files in it. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do now, because you already know how to use the targeted one. What we'll do is talk about using the email service. Okay, so to start with, let's get these in a condition where they don't have the targeted extension anymore. So I'm just going to click on that and delete it. Okay, and this one we never did actually add one to. Let me rename that one. Let's say OAT. All right, so our temp one and our OAT one both have a history, but neither has a history extension or email extension on it. If we want to pick their histories both up and send them in one email, what we do is add the history email service to our services. So we'll add that. And the history email service, there it is, itself is the one that you configure to send the email. So this is going to be one email to you, individual at yourcompany.com. We'll use the outgoing email account again, put all the information in here. You want to clear it, all the same kinds of things that were in the targeted extension, but this refers to the whole system itself. Okay, so that by itself, though, doesn't know which histories to send unless you tell it to do all history extensions, regardless of whether we told it to send them or not. It just pick anything that has a history extension on it and send those. Or you can say just those that have our history email extension. What that part means, let's save that, is when we go to our point, we can add our history email service extension. Just add that there. If you scroll down here, the history email service extension appears, but there's nothing under it. There's no configuration for this at all. It's just a pointer or an indicator on this history, on this point, indicating that it's part of what the history email service is going to send. So if I were to leave it in this way, then the history email service would fire off on its schedule and only pick up the one that had the history email service extension on it. Let's add that history email service extension as well to the OAT. And there it is. So now when the history email service extension or history email service sends out its email, it'll pick up both of these, send it to one recipient, and contains both CSV files. So that's how easy it is to use LinkSpring's history email service. Thank you very much for watching this video.